Welcome to the We Rise podcast, a space created to rejuvenate, inspire, support, and enlighten. I'm your host, Dr. Joanne Frederick, therapist, author, professor, mental health advocate, and Mrs. Unity World USA. Through this podcast, we have honest conversations about mental health, resilience, healing, faith, and the real life journeys that shape who we become. Each episode is designed to uplift your mind, strengthen your spirit, and remind you that no matter what you faced, your story still has power and purpose. Here we talk about overcoming challenges, breaking stigma around mental health, and learning practical ways to care for ourselves and those we love. Today we have with us Catherine Chaya, which is also let me say, she is also the former Mrs. New Mexico, but she is currently classic Mrs. USA International World. Catherine, are you there with us?
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well, looking out the window and looking at this snow, rain, or whatever's going on our side of town. What about you?
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Because, well, here is clear blue skies, sunny. I think
Wow.
it's in the high 60s here in New Mexico.
Wow.
Yeah, we're known to have great weather basically 92% of the year.
Wow. Amazing. Oh my goodness. You need to share some of that over this podcast.
I will. I'll send the sunshine.
All right. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me. I love podcasts like that, like this, that empower women. But for myself, I was a longtime veteran to the entertainment and television business, and I lived in New York City for 20 years as a working as a Broadway dancer and gracing your TV screens and popular commercials and print ads like Vogue magazine, Cuisinart Home Shopping Network. And then 7 years ago, I met my husband, Danny, on the airplane. And
Mm.
I know it is a really cool story. I'll have to share that another time. Uh, Soon after that, we eloped to Hawaii. And we were so excited to start a family. But 6 months into our new marriage, I found out I had stage two ovarian cancer. And but fortunately, the cancer was removed. But I was told that I was no longer able to have children of my own, and as you can imagine, I was devastated. But during my recovery, the radiation treatments really ravaged my body. But I am thankful for that struggle because without it, I wouldn't have found my true strength. And in recovery, I turned to natural treatments like herbs and acupuncture, meditation, and developed my faith even deeper with God. And I eventually became a holistic health practitioner.
Mhm.
And I have now been able to help hundreds of women through their cancer journey and giving them that love, strength, and the practical solutions and resources that they tend to want and need. But throughout this whole process, instead of losing hope, I discovered
Mhm.
my purpose, and that was to help women heal. I
Mhm.
became an advocate and speaker for the American Cancer Society and working with legislators to help make cancer treatments more affordable for everyone. And, I started a video series called Wellness Rooted in Nature, which I'll tell you about later. And now, turning that grief into growth, I help other
Mhm.
women do the same. And I'm doing all that from the foothills of the mountains in New Mexico
Mhm.
and
Yes.
happily married with three fur babies.
Oh, wow. What a powerful story. I mean, one of resilience for real. You spoke about like being in Broadway in New York, and it's so interesting. Right now, I'm in New Jersey, and I am going on Broadway on
What?
Saturday. Yes, to a
For
walk off.
what?
Yes, a walk off model show, actually.
Oh,
Um, yes, an audience judge, a couple of myself and a couple of other queens as well. So when you said Broadway, I'm like, yes, but also I'm a native New Yorker. I was born there, and so I'm like, yay.
no
Um,
wonder we connected so
Exactly.
easily.
We did. I mean, the first time we met each other, we just
Yes,
connected.
yes,
Yes. And to
yes.
hear your story and how you, like you said, took grief into growth and helping other women grow. I love that. And so, being part of the pageant industry, you were, Mrs. New Mexico. You won the crown there in New Orleans in November, right? Yay,
What an amazing
congratulations.
thank you, and
Yes.
congratulations to you too. And what an amazing city, New Orleans, to have a pageant in. You know,
Yes.
I mean, we did a second line parade
Hmm.
in our national flower costume. I mean, it's
Yes.
just such a full experience, pageant experience. It's wonderful.
It was, it was. And so since winning the crown, what have you been up to?
Oh, well, what have I been up to? I am, an American Cancer Society advocate and speaker. And one of the things that I do with them is I volunteer for their hotline. And
Hmm.
what current cancer patients can do is call in and I help them find resources like transportation, meals, helping with those logistics and also that emotional support. So I just started doing that. Of
Hmm.
course, I'm this March, month of March, I am doing a 31-mile walk with my canines, and it's a fundraiser. And what this money goes towards is these logistics. So these hotline members, the resources like the transportation, the meals, as I mentioned, and things like that. And also going to the Capitol, your local Congress, and help legislate for certain bills. Like, for example, getting Medicare to coverage for blood tests that can detect many cancers at once. This is part of the early detection, and then just making more affordable cancer treatments for everyone. We forget, not everyone can afford these treatments. So I help advocate for that. And one other project that I want to mention
Hmm.
is that's very dear to my heart that I started 2 years ago in my mother's legacy is called Visiting Angels with Four Legs. And I bring therapy dogs to assisted and hospice living facilities. And, as soon as I walk in the door with my dog Linus, you have patients with dementia going from staring at the floor to waving Linus and I over so that they can pet him. And there's an instant mental well-being alertness that
Hmm.
just brings them back into life, into that moment again. So it does. So I bring that joy and unconditional love of therapy dogs. So
Yep. Oh, yeah. So it sounds like you've been busy, serving the community. And also, as a therapist, we are advocates for therapy dogs as well. And so
oh,
I
yeah.
love, yes, definitely. We do. We do.
Well, I think therapy animals, even I've
Hmm.
seen cats, I've seen miniature horses.
Horses, yes.
Rabbits, I mean, it goes across the board. They all have to be certified,
Yep.
and we are
Trained.
certified with the national organization, Alliance of Therapy Dogs, which is based in Colorado. And yeah, it's just, when you give, you're giving back to yourself too. And it just really fills up that cup.
Oh yeah, definitely. I love that. Love that you continue to do that work even after winning. And so you mentioned, in New Orleans, like what we did, and that was all under USA World Pageants. So it
Yep.
sounds like it was beneficial to you. So tell us about USA World Pageants.
Well, first of all, Akila Douglas, our national director, I had met her at another pageant, and she was telling me about USA World. And, what other pageant is there an opportunity to go to and win four national titles? I don't know of
Wow.
anybody else.
Wow.
And they all go to an international uh, production. Because, a lot of pageants these days, they just have the national crown and then it stops right there. But I
Hmm.
was looking for a pageant that went to an international production. And
Mm.
so I'm going to be going to Malaysia in 1 week.
Mm,
And
yes.
I'll be competing for the Mrs. International World title. And this pageant in New Orleans helped me as a stepping stone to get there. And, I just love our national director, Akila. She's so encouraging. She always picks up the phone when you call,
Mm, mm, yes.
and there's a lot of us.
Hmm.
But she's always there. And that's
Yes.
so important to have that structure, especially when you're going to a fantastic show nationally and internationally. And I love the sisterhood. We're all just a variety of different women, and we come together and encourage each other and support each other. And it's just such a fun experience. It's a girls' trip, and
Yes.
that's how USA World promotes themselves.
That is so true. I mean, as you're describing all of this, you're bringing back fun memories because I think you was the second person I met. I think we both came in early. And if you remember, we met, I came to your room, we got to
Yeah,
know each other in real versus, being on text and, being on Zoom. And that was so much fun. And I was laughing when you said that Akila's around when you call her. Well, I'll text all types of the night or day because we have the time difference also, and she always responds. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. So yeah, so it sounds like USA World Pageants is the place to be if you're looking for a pageant of an experience, and definitely an international. You have a chance to go international as well. um,
yes,
you're setting it off. You mentioned that you're leaving in about a week to go to Malaysia, right? For your next
yes.
pageant, you are setting it off for all of us. So that being said, how are you preparing yourself?
Oh, wow. Coaches all across the board.
Mm,
Uh, you know, as soon as I won the national crown, I had 4 months to prepare. So I did
wow.
not wait till the last minute. I started right away and just took it in pieces. When it comes to the country costume, your evening gown, your swimsuit, interview, just survival of every day of the
Hmm.
7 day pageant. So, yeah, and I think the most important is taking care of your mental wellness. I
Hmm.
I mean, listen, we're human beings. We're going to have our up and down moments, but it's all about on how fast can we recover? How
Hmm.
how can I keep my nervous system calm? So, as a holistic health practitioner, I have my tools, I have my crystals, I have my breathing techniques, I have, the preparation, building
Hmm.
confidence. So that's what I'm doing.
I love it. And as you're talking about tools, right? As the author of Copology, I was thinking about how that book provides tools to use your spirituality to cope with life. You talked about that we always have to cope in life. So I got to make sure you have that book with you. It is on Amazon, but I think it's a good tool to kind of take along.
Yeah.
As you talked about preparing, you mentioned coaches and physically and, mentally, just preparing, and you did it immediately. And so I'm so happy for your journey and looking forward to seeing it on the big screen, right?
Thank you. Yes, you guys can follow me on all my socials. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. It will be at USA Pageants. It will be at Classic Mrs. USA International World. You can find, and Catherine Czaja, uh, which is CZAJA. And you can find, follow my journey as I'm in Malaysia throughout the week.
Excellent. We wish you luck. And so, what is your last message to the audience that you would like us to know?
Oh, wow. My last message would, I think just overall, I think there are times in our life when we believe that we are broken, but we are not,
Mhm.
because we are always becoming. And I think, you know, surviving and overcoming and thriving through, what is it, disease. For me, I'm a cancer survivor. I had to work through not being able to have children of my own, but I turned that grief into growth and I got into pageantry. And through that, I was able to help my community thrive. Even more through the different programs I created. If that's not with my seniors, with the therapy dogs, or children's programs and vision boarding programs that I brought to them. And I think if you believe and you get the proper help, there's always a way to get through your trauma, and breathe. I think we always
Leave.
forget our number one tool is breathing, and take care of yourself. It's not selfish because when we take care of ourselves first, we can take care of others at 100%. And
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I really love that message. Breathe to take care of yourself first before taking care of others. And, your message is just one of wellness and reminders. That's what I hear.
yes, yeah, follow my video series, Wellness Rooted in Nature. You can find those on my socials, on YouTube, and I interview wellness experts from around the world about their cultural traditions and how they use Mother Earth to heal ourselves. So,
Hmm.
we all need the reminders.
Definitely, definitely. And it sounds to me like what you're saying, like we don't, the only going to get, let's say, prescriptions, medical prescription is not the only way to heal. There are natural ways to do that as well.
Absolutely. I'm a huge believer in uh, mixing Western and Eastern medicine, and
Mm.
you need to find what is appropriate for you.
Yes, I love that. All right. Well,
Oh,
on that note, we thank you for taking your time when you should be preparing. And I know as soon as we get off, you will continue. We're going to
yes.
watch you live perform. You're going to represent well for the United States and bring that crown back home.
Well, that is the goal. So thank you so much for your support, and thank you for this interview.
You're welcome, and I'll see you soon.
All right.
All
You have
right,
a good
everyone.
day.
Yes, thank you for tuning in to the We Rise podcast. Stay tuned for our next person that we will be interviewing. You can find us on YouTube at Mrs. Unity World USA. You can find us on YouTube again at Dr. Joanne Frederick. We're also on Instagram and Facebook. So looking forward to seeing you. Bye bye.